I was thinking,
in this little house.
Starts really early.
Yes.
Really early.
Yes.
And as soon as you get up, you can get to your stockings and you don't have to wait for anybody. You can just get to your stockings and find out what you got. And but for the presents under the tree, you have to wait till everybody is up, and most of us have to have coffee now.
we've had prayer and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have prayer, and sometimes we do the Christmas story in the morning if especially if we haven't done it the night before, because quite often we have done it with mom's side of the family. And then this last year we had a share time, and that was really special. And then after
That's one I think we should keep.
I think so too.
Is that share time is
Every year is different.
it is. I mean, I'm looking at myself, the kind of the peaks and valleys that I've gone through over the years. This year is different than last year. That was different than last year, and I think it's during those times when you kind of get to stake claims. You know, I went from here to here, and this was the mountain I climbed this year, and I can take that as territory covered, and I think that those are good things, and I think that as a family. I think it makes us closer because we kind of drive those stakes in as a family, not just as an individual. And back to the other things that a typical Murray Christmas is, I think we hug each other more on the holidays. Because it's that time we're feeling closer to each other, not just that we are, but we feel maybe a little more tender. Maybe we're a little bit more, we're remembering the reason for the season, and that reason all comes down to how much God loved us. And because God loved us enough to do that for us, and to provide Jesus for us in that fashion, that gives us the opportunity to appreciate the love of our family even more. Christmas didn't start until we called my grandparents, my dad's parents. Grandma and Grandpa Murray were always here for Christmas. We would get up Christmas morning, same every year. We would call them about 6:30 to 7 o'clock in the morning, depending on if we slept in or not.
We did have to draw the line at the time, though.
Yes.
One year it was 4:30.
Yeah. They told us to go back to bed. So we got back up at 6:30 and called Grandma and Grandpa, and we would always open our stockings first, and we had to wait for Grandma and Grandpa to get there before we could open our gifts. We always looked forward to that.
They did.
And then after the gifts, then we have breakfast together.
You forgot.
Wow.
We throw wrapping paper at each other.
We do. I forgot.
I tried to pick it up and put it in the garbage again. It becomes quite a fierce battle at times.
Well, and the other thing we do when we do presents is we take turns. We start from the youngest and go to the oldest. And we just keep going around and around till all the gifts are done. That way you can see what other people have gotten. And that's just...
Makes it
just
last longer
always-
too.
Yeah, we've always done that.
And about the wrapping paper, you might want to not tell Nate. I've been saving a stone all year. I'm gonna win. This is my year. Harry's gonna hit a little. You can edit that part out. I just don't want him to know. We always opened our Christmas presents on Christmas morning with our family. And on Christmas Eve, we would always have Christmas with my mom's side. We spend a lot of that at Grandma's house singing carols. A couple times, Mom and I were talking about this earlier today. We would recite the entire Luke 2, the whole Christmas story. We do all that from memory too. I guess I hadn't thought about that until Mom and I were talking about that today. We still to this day, when that side of the family whenever we celebrate Christmas with them, it always involves a piano and a bunch of Christmas songs, Christmas carols, and then sometimes we even sing things that aren't Christmas songs.
Yes, we do.
We do. We have a lot of songs. We just enjoy singing together.
You know,
Well, my mother likes to hear us sing. It's something she really enjoys.
Well, one of my favorite things is to hear Grandma or Grandpa pray. Too, that's just a highlight for me.
Most any food is appropriate for Christmas, in my opinion.
well, Mom and I were talking about that today, and I said, I remember always having ham on Christmas,
Yeah.
and when we switched to pizza, we did try to keep with the season. We order ham on the pizza. Stay consistent.
In wrapping the presents for the family, the children, one year I put each child, I can't remember, one year I did numbers. Each child had a number, and one year I did the paper different, and I lost the list. I did some scrambling there, but I tried to be creative. I would like to put one large gift under there with no name on.
Remember that year I opened a 90? I'm pretty sure it wasn't mine.
I remember one gift before we were married.
Yes.
I got Lynn a watch band and I wrapped it in a little piece of paper, just a band in a plastic thing. Put that in another box and wrapped that, and put that in another box and wrapped that. And when I came up, it was in this house for Christmas, I had a box that was about 3 foot square. And she was a little frustrated every time she opened another box and there was another wrapped gift in there, but she needed a watch band and it said something to me about it, so.
Mom bought Dad a garage door opener for Christmas, probably 25 years ago.
It's still in the box.
It's still
In the
box,
garage.
in the garage. It has never been put up.
It's an antique, I'm sure.
No, it's not an antique because it has a video with it to tell you how to hook it up.
Yeah, but Dad, they don't make VCRs anymore.
I knew I should have put it up before we got rid of our VCR.
The theme that I've kind of been thinking of is that we've been preparing for this. I've been preparing for this. It's kind of made me focus on Christmas a little bit more and think about the past. And I would say a common theme, and I think Nancy would agree with this, Mom and Dad never made it about gifts. It was always about the time and about spending time with family. And I don't think you could have got me a gift that would have made me disappointed, because it wasn't really about that. It was about spending that time together and enjoying the reason for the season.
Well, Grandpa made some gifts for you.
Yeah.
Grandpa Murray made me that fire truck, and I still have that. I got it, I think it was the Christmas when I was 3. It's out of plywood. He painted it red, put carpet in the bottom of it, and put a big tractor steering wheel. That's been one of the gifts that I've gotten. That's probably been my most memorable. I mean, I'm 38 now, so 35 years, and that's still one I hold close to my heart.
Was it the same year that you made the kitchen?
Yeah, I made a kitchen for Nancy. It had, I had a stainless steel bowl, it looked like a sink, and I had some bicycle reflectors fixed up with a light bulb underneath with rheostat switches that looked like burners, and she could turn those on. And it had an oven with a light bulb in it, and I don't know if they ever did bake anything, but
Yeah, we made Jesus a birthday cake.
did we?
Yes.
I remember my aunt telling about one time in her church when she was the director of the Christmas program. She had a bunch of kids with little stars with their pieces on behind, and they were to go up on the stage, and each one had a letter, and it was supposed to spell star, and their verses had something to do with those letters. And she got them in reverse order, and when they got up there, it said rats.
We were sitting around the dinner table, and my brother Pat and I got into a rather I think heated would be a good term for it, discussion about music where he was on one side and I was on the other, and quite frankly, I don't remember who was on what side anymore. But I just remember that it got into a very heated debate where both of us were a little hot under the collar, and my grandfather was sitting across from us. And I remember looking across at him, and he had tears in his eyes. He said something to the effect of, and I can't quote it, but he said something to the effect of, "It's a great family that doesn't have to see eye to eye and can defend their beliefs and believe what they want to and still be family." And that really stood out to me. What a great heritage that he's left. And you know, we as a family don't always agree on everything, but we always agree that we're going to side with each other in the end. You know, we're always going to be close. and
I
have
can
each other's
say
back.
bad things about my family, but nobody else better.
Well, the hardest part of that is to be the only one that's really right.
It is difficult, but I'm learning how to accept that. But I've had a great example in my father. I always know if I agree with Dad, I'm right.
Well, I think, like as Ben mentioned earlier, we always read the Christmas story out of Luke, and the kids almost can recite it line by line, and we always had prayer. And those times were really special to me. And if anything, I guess that I'd like to see them carry on would be to remember the real reason for the season and to sense God's presence at these special times.
I think this last year was special in that way,
It was.
wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that last year, it was just, we had some time where we just shared things that, you know, I don't know, God helped us through. I don't remember what the exact,
They had a hard year.
yeah, and God just settled down and just, it was a mountain time.
And my dad cried.
Grandpa
Because-
never cries.
And well,
He
Lee wanted my dad to pray. He requested, I'd really like to have Grandpa pray. And he couldn't very well. He just was weeping so much. It was just a very tender time. But I just think a strong sense of family.
I think another thing that we thought about during that time was that we're all different. We've all been through different situations and trials and tests and all that. And probably if we had to trade with each other, we probably wouldn't be able to make it. But God's been faithful in leading each of us through other situations that we have. And we praise Him.